Hi, Oyus and Bobcats. Welcome to the OU Virtual Fitness channel. My name is Kaya. I'm a yoga instructor at the Ping Recreation Center, and today we're going to be doing 30 minutes of Yin Yoga. So we're going to be mostly staying on the ground, doing some restorative postures, holding them for several minutes to kind of work into the connective tissues, so the ligaments, the tendons, the fascia, all that good stuff. We're not really going to need any props for today's class. If you have blocks at your home, you can use those. Here, wait, So I use one that's about this size. If you have like a textbook or any kind of book or shape that's like this size, it helps. If you know you like to use those. And my sister's practicing with me today, so that was who I was talking to. So if you see like a flash of a foot or a leg over in the corner, that's what you're seeing. Cool. A couple other things. If you're participating in the Nurse Movement Challenge, please go on the portal after class and log your hours so we can keep moving up with our school. And I'm not going to be playing any music today during class just for copyright reasons. So if you have any ambient music that you like, something without words that won't be distracting to you during your practice, you can play that. Or you can practice in silence like me. I really like to practice Yin in silence. Cool. All right, so we're going to start in a little bit of a different position today. We're actually going to start standing. And we're just going to come to a forward fold so your feet can come nice and wide, about hips distance or even wider, about mat's distance. And just fold forward, and this is a great place for your blocks. So if your hamstrings are really tight, you can place your hands on your blocks right here. Just imagine that I have little blocks. Or you can bring your hands down to the ground and feel free to bend really deeply through the knees. Don't feel the need to have your legs straight here at all. And then really release through the shoulders, through the neck. Let the head hang heavy. And allow this to be a release in the low back. So we're not necessarily looking for a really deep stretch in the back of the legs yet, but just trying to stretch out those lower vertebrae, release all through the spine. Maybe you let your gaze fall closed as you find stillness and start to tap into your breath here. Feel your belly rising against your thighs. Fill all the way up down into the lower belly. You can open the mouth nice and loud, sigh it out. And inhale through the nose all the way into the belly. Exhale through the mouth. Just keep going like that, finding your cycle of breath, breathing into the areas of your body that are experiencing the most sensation here. So maybe that is the back of your legs. And again, you can bend even deeper into your knees. Maybe that's your low back, your shoulders. Noticing any thoughts or sensations that you might have brought onto the mat with you. And then notice if they're serving you. And if they don't, just exhale to release them. Leave them off the mat for the next 30 minutes. Notice if you've started to let some tension creep into your neck or your eyebrows or your chin. And just release those down towards the ground. And then we'll slowly come out of this. So you can just lift halfway. And what we're going to do is keep our right foot stepped forward and step our left leg back. Make sure you have plenty of space between your right heel and your left knee as you set your left knee down on the ground. And then we'll wiggle our right toes out to the top right corner of our mat so we have a little more space, and bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Go ahead and ground down through the top of your left foot into the mat. And this may already be plenty of sensation here. Again, if you have those blocks, you can prop up onto your blocks here to give you a little more height, or you can come up onto your leg if that's more comfortable. You can stay on your hands, or if you feel you have a little more space to move forward, you can slowly start to lower the elbows down towards the ground, and they don't have to touch. Maybe you bring a blanket under your elbows to give you a little bit of support here. And then whenever you've found that spot that you'd like to hang out for the next few minutes, just let your head hang heavy, just like we did in our forward fold. Let your shoulder heads roll forward. Breathe into the belly. Coming into our square breath. So noting that our breath is not only two parts, not just an inhale and an exhale, but also the pauses in between. And in Yin, we work to lengthen those pauses so that each part of the square, the inhale, the pause, the exhale, the pause, they're all the same length. So if you like, you can do that on a 4 count. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the top. Hold everything in. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the bottom. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Just continuing with that round. If you don't like the 4 count, maybe you lengthen it or shorten it, or just work towards evening out those sections, sending the inhales into the right hip, the left hip flexor, the top of the front of the left leg. Everywhere where you're feeling the sensation from this pose, we've got a little bit longer here. And then using your next inhale to slowly come back onto your hands if you're not already there. Start to ease out of that front hip. And then we'll press our hands into the mat, step our right foot back to meet our left for a tabletop. Just gently shake the hip side to side here, relieving your body from that posture. And then bring your knees nice and wide. Heel or toes come to touch. Sit your heels back to your hip, or your hips back to your heels. Find child's pose. And here you can start to really notice those belly breaths. Feel the belly rounding down towards the ground. Feel the ribs expanding as you inhale. And maybe you feel the warmth of your exhale on your face and on your neck. Just being really conscious of the breath. Noticing the length and depth. And as we rest in Balasana, taking inventory of the thoughts and the worries that pass through your mind, try not to pass judgment on those thoughts or to get attached when they come through. Just observe them. Notice what they are, notice the patterns, and then let them gently float out of your mind. Just gently dismiss them. This is a practice that the Buddhist masters call resting in the true nature of the mind. Just continually coming back to the breath between the thoughts, not letting ourselves get attached to feelings or to memories or experiences, but just gently floating down the stream. On your next inhale, you can slowly rise back to tabletop. And we're going to come back to our dragon pose. I'm just going to switch sides so you can see me better. We'll step our left foot forward this time. Our left toes wiggle out towards the top left corner of our mat, hands on the inside, resting the whole top of the right foot on the mat, and then leaning deeply forward into that left hip stretch. And maybe you come up onto your knee or onto some blocks to give you some support. If you're staying on your hands, just let your head hang heavy, your shoulder heads roll forward. Try to find some ease in the legs, really relax through the muscles. One of the main principles of Yin is just completely releasing, allowing gravity to do its work on our body. And those connective tissues that we're trying to target, the fascia, it's this really complex web of tissue that wraps around our organs and our muscles. I've heard it described like the white film that surrounds an orange, and then also each section of the orange and each little tiny filament. And all of our habitual movement makes the fascia really rough and coarse, like sandpaper texture. It's the only way we can dig in and undo that habitual movement is by releasing the muscles and finding stillness. So those are our goals in Yin. And returning to your square breath if you've already let go of it. Evening out those pauses between your inhales and exhales. And each time a thought comes through your mind or a distraction arises in the next room, just come back to that breath. This is the practice of yoga, the cessation of the turnings of thought. If your knee is feeling any discomfort in this pose, please ease out of it and either place a blanket underneath your back knee or scooch your back knee a little farther back so that if you can see, I'm not quite on top of my knee, I'm a little bit forward of it. And that'll relieve the joint of any unneeded pressure. Got just about 45 more seconds here. Can you settle in for 45 more seconds? Just stay for that much longer. And then on an inhale, we'll rise up to our hands, start to ease out of our hips. And then again, gently stepping the left foot back to meet the right in tabletop. Sway the hip side to side. Release the hip stretch. And then we'll find puppy pose. So we're going to keep our same alignment in our hips. So the hips will stay stacked over the knees as we slowly start to walk the hands forward and sink the chest down towards the mat. And maybe you place a block under your forehead or a blanket under your chest here, just yearning, reaching the forehead down towards the mat. And if this feels good, if your shoulders have space here, maybe you work your chin to the mat, so looking forward and letting the heart sink down. Totally optional. A really deep back bend, shoulder opener, heart opener. Just really take the time to notice the sensations here, to breathe into whatever is feeling the sensation. We have one more minute here. Settle in, maybe not moving anywhere physically, just settling in energetically, emotionally, spiritually. And start to press some weight into your hands and walk the hands back towards you to come up to your tabletop. And let's just take one round of cat and cow here. Inhale to drop the belly, look up towards the ceiling or the sky. Exhale to hug the navel up towards the ceiling, arch the back. Inhale to come back to your neutral tabletop, and then we'll lower all the way to our belly. And we'll take a cat pulling its tail. So we're going to bring our right knee up towards our side, towards our armpit, and the knee can stay bent, or if you have the space, you can extend the leg long, totally optional here. Left arm will go out long, and you have two options here. You can either rest your head on your left upper arm, or you can support your head with your left hand. As your right hand reaches back, maybe you just drop the right hand behind your back to find that shoulder opening, or you can kick the left foot up towards your glutes, capture the outer edge of your left foot, And find a gentle quad stretch here as well. Breathing into the twist again, noticing the way the breath moves through the body here. And again, your other option, if you can't quite reach your foot, is to just let your hand hang heavy behind your back, using the weight of your arm to pull your heart forward. That's also a great twist here. With each exhale, twisting a little deeper, allowing the right shoulder to pull the weight of your heart back and open just a little more. Maybe again, not moving at all physically, just energetically shining the heart open. Use your exhale to slowly release the back foot. Bring the right hand back to the mat and bring the right knee back by the left. And then we'll move straight over to the other side. So the left knee hugs up towards the left armpit. Maybe the left leg extends straight, only if that's comfortable for you. Right arm reaches out long, either to lay your head on the right upper arm or to support your head with the hand. And then the left arm reaches back, either just collapsing behind the low back to pull the heart open or capturing the outer edge of the right foot. Cat pulling its tail. If it feels good, you can use those exhales to slightly pull the foot in towards the glute, finding that deeper quad stretch. Really yummy. Two more big rounds of breath in your twist. And your exhale releases the right foot down to the mat. And then you don't even need to come back towards center. We're just going to roll all the way over onto our backs. And then you can shimmy your way back onto your mat. Let your feet come as wide as your mat. Let your hands come out by the sides, palms face up. And find your final resting pose, Shavasana. Release any hold on the breath, any thoughts floating through the mind, any tension in the body. Just melt down into the ground and feel the ground rising up to support you. Big inhale into the belly. Open your mouth, audible exhale. Start to bring some movement back into your fingers and your toes. Your face, your elbows, your wrists, your knees, your ankles, just slowly starting to awaken the body. Whenever you're ready, inhale to reach the hands up and overhead for a good morning stretch. Bring the soles of your feet to the mat. Exhale, roll to your right side, supported fetal position. Just take a moment here to allow the effects of your practice to wash over you. Say thank you to yourself for making it to your mat. Sometimes that's the hardest part. And whenever you're ready to move into the rest of your day, keep your gaze soft and start to press up to a tall cross-legged seat. Bring your palms to touch, Anjali Mudra. We'll close our class with one chant of Om. Take one cleansing breath to begin. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale for the Om. The sound of the creation of the universe. Bring your thumbs to third eye center. May you have peace in your thoughts. Bring your thumbs to your mouth. May you have peace in your words. And bring your thumbs to your heart. May you have peace in your heart. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and practicing with me. It was wonderful to have all you. The Nurse and Movement Challenge is continuing through the end of May. So I'll be teaching my classes through the end of May. So please continue tuning in. I also have all sorts of other yoga videos, like some other vinyasa style on the YouTube channel. And we have lots of other yoga offerings and other group fit offerings. So make sure you're checking all that out. Stay safe, stay healthy, Bobcats. Have a great day.